Today, we're diving into something every app needs, a beautiful animated list. Whether it's a chat app, a to-do list, or a dynamic feed, having smooth animations for list items can transform your app's user experience. Let's jump right in. Start by creating a fresh Flutter project. Open your project in your IDE. In main.dart file, we'll begin by setting up the basic structure. Next, create a new stateful widget called AnimatedList widget. This will be our playground for adding the animated list functionality. First, set up the basic layout for our animated list. We'll use Flutter's built-in animated list widget, which makes it super easy to add and remove items dynamically. Here's what's happening. First off, we have a list of strings called items to hold the data for our list items. We also have global key called list key, which is crucial for controlling the animations within the animated list. Now let's look at the build method. We use a column to arrange our elements vertically. The first child is an expanded widget, which allows animated list to take up as much space as possible on the screen. This animated list is the heart of our animation. It handles dynamic additions and deletions. It takes the list key we created earlier, the initial item count, which is the number of items we initially have in our list, and the item builder. The item builder is a crucial function. It's responsible for building each individual item in the list. It receives three parameters. Context, the build context of the item. Index, the index of the item within the list. Animation, an animation object that controls the appearance of the item. Inside Item Builder, we use size transition to control the size of the item during the animation. Within the size transition, we have card to give each item a visual boundary. And finally, we have list tile that displays the item's text and a trailing icon button for deleting the item. The build input bar function creates a simple input field and an add button. When the user enters text and clicks add item function is called. Now let's talk about how we add and remove items. In add item, we first insert the new item at the beginning of our items list. Then we use listkey.currentState.insertItem to tell the animated list to insert a new item at index 0, triggering the animation. Similarly, remove item function handles item removal. It first removes the item from the items list. Then, it uses listkey.currentState.removeItem to remove the item from the list and display the removal animation. Try running the app now. You'll see an input field and a list where you can add and delete items. And that's it. This is how we create an animated list in Flutter using AnimatedList widget. By combining AnimatedList with various animation transitions like size transition and fade transition, you can create visually appealing and engaging user interfaces. Now let's add some flair to our animations. Instead of just resizing, let's add a fade-in and fade-out effect for smoother transitions. Update build item method to use both fade transition and size transition. This combines both fade and resize effects, making the animations look polished. It's a small tweak, but it makes a huge difference. Let's break down what's happening here. We have wrapped the existing widget with a fade transition. This widget will control the opacity of the item during the animation. The opacity property is bound to the animation object, which will gradually increase from 0 to 1, making the item appear to fade in. Inside the fade transition, we have a size transition widget, which we previously used. This widget will control the size of the item during the animation. The size factor is also bound to the animation object. As the animation progresses, the size factor will increase, making the item appear to grow from a small size to its full size. By combining fade transition and size transition, we create a more visually appealing and dynamic animation for our list items. The items will not only fade in but also smoothly grow in size, giving the list a more polished and engaging appearance. This demonstrates how you can easily customize the animation effects in your Flutter applications by combining different transition widgets. If you enjoyed this video, check out other Flutter animation videos on my channel.